Greetings, fellow Fubsters. I'm excited for this rendition of Getting Fubbed Up with Bridget. You notice that we've changed the format around a little bit. That's just to make it a little bit easier for you guys to be able to view these videos and be able to really process everything. We highly encourage that you guys leave some questions in the comments. Also, suggestions. Tell me what you want to get fubbed up about. Can't wait to hear. We want to make sure that we're providing the best content possible for you guys. So if you're new here, I'm Bridget Ahern with Amplified Solutions. I'm the Director of Project Management and super excited. I always love doing these videos for you guys and these webinars and giving you guys all the FUB knowledge possible. So today we're going to dig into power-ups. This is really for admin and owner level access. Agents, power-ups really aren't for them. It's for you guys to help empower them. So excited to dig in. Hopefully we're all learning something new today. There's been a couple of updates and changes with things such as like the AR transcript recording and stuff like that. So super jazzed to get into it and show you guys what it's all about.
Is follow-up boss too overwhelming? Stay on top of your leads with Amplified Solutions Getting Fubbed Up with Bridget. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe now.
Alrighty, so let's talk power-ups. Gotta love power-ups. They're like, you know, Mario's magic mushroom to just kind of take things to the next level and be able to do a lot more and have a little bit more control within your system. So to get to our power-ups, we're going to click on either our beautiful headshot that we have going right here or your initials if you've not yet put in a headshot. So we're going to go to the power-ups right down here. You can see it's the third one down. So tons of different little things that we can enable and or disable. So that's also what's pretty cool about these power-ups is you're completely in control on whether or not you actually want to use them. So first and foremost, the first one up here for user features is going to be blur mode. So we have it on currently. You probably noticed on this front screen that information was all blurred out. So with blur mode, it just hides people's personal information. So their phone numbers, their email addresses, any sort of personal information like that. If you're doing trainings or if you're doing any sort of, live broadcast of your database to people, it's going to blur that out so that people's information isn't getting out there in the world, right? Which is always a benefit. Next up, we've got this is a newer one and it's next level. I hope everybody is as jazzed about this as I am. So we've always had call recordings, right? But now we've got transcripts and summaries. In order to utilize this, you do have to have them both. Well, it's now just one little thing, but you can't just have the transcripts and the summaries, but not have the call being recorded. So it's all kind of wrapped up into one here, but it's really awesome. I mean, there's so many benefits to having your calls recorded, guys. If you're driving on the road, you're concentrating on directions or something, and you're also prospecting or talking to clients, it's a really great way for you to be able to go back and kind of review maybe what happened on that call so that you know exactly what you talked about. If you need to make any notes or if you have any follow-ups that you need to do for that person, you can go back and review. So it's super helpful. And then these transcripts, just adding that in is next level. It's awesome. It uses AI and it gives you a summary of the conversation. It even showcases, hey, here's what the next steps are. Lee on our team has done a really awesome webinar just based on this new transcript and summary section. So I highly recommend checking that out if you want a little bit more details there. But it's really great. Additionally, with that, we've got a call recording disclosure. So not all states are a one-party consent state. Some are all-party consent states, meaning that if you do have this recording enabled, you have to give a disclosure and a disclaimer, hey, this call is being recorded. So Follow-Up Boss is just kind of baked in that if you want to have that enabled, it'll do an automatic disclosure for you and just let the other party know, hey, just so you know, this call is being recorded. And nobody needs any fines or anything like that for call recording. So it really just kind of covers your butt. Disabling of batch emails. So turning this on will disable batch email functionality. If you've got some agents that go a little bit rogue and they're sending out some crazy batch emails and stuff, it's kind of nice to have a stop button on that, right? So you can turn this on, turn it off, let people in your database send out batch emails to multiple people. So obviously a batch email is sending an email all at once to multiple people instead of just doing a one-to-one email. We've got the agent-owned lead duplication. So this can be really helpful for if agents are having their own agent-owned lead flow, right? So if somebody on your team is buying their own Facebook ads and they've got their leads coming into the database, it prevents if that lead's already in your system and they are assigned to somebody else on the team. It allows the opportunity for if somebody goes in and they click on their ad and fill out the information for whoever's ad that is, they can still receive that lead and it doesn't update any of the information of the lead that's already assigned to somebody else. It doesn't change anything. It truly just duplicates it. They're able to put their own information, keep everything confidential. The other agent isn't going to see any of that information. So there's a cool way for it to work in that factor. And then really another reason would be for imports. If again, there's already somebody in the database, you get a new person on your team, maybe they happen to have a CSV file that has a duplicate contact on there. So instead of that contact information that they have or any notes that they have or any sort of valuable data and information that they have about that person on their CSV, it's not just going to upload and go to whoever's assigned that lead currently. It'll create a duplicate for that person, and that individual agent will have all of their personal information about that person in their personal database. Appointment reminders. So sending a text reminder to the contacts who've been invited to an appointment. So you guys may have seen when you go to appointments, there's a little checkbox there. Let's check out Betty Byer, get a visual on this. So when you make that appointment, you have the option right down here to send the invitation email and text reminder. So if you're in here or if you've watched webinars and you've seen, oh yeah, these text reminders, and you're like, what the heck, why don't I have a text reminder? The reason is because you don't have it enabled. So if you want, it's a day of, so the morning, whatever your guys' office hours are, it typically is like if you guys have 8 to 5 on your office hours, then the message typically sends at 8 o'clock. So it's just to, get that text reminder out on your behalf. This is really the only other exception, except for when you have somebody come in from a lead flow and they have that one opportunity to get that automatic text message. This is the only way in the system that you'll have some sort of other automated text message going out to people. I'm sure you guys already know, can't have texts in action plans. It's really just communication wise sending emails. But this is really that only exception outside of the lead flow initial text where you can have an auto text. Lead source lockdown. So when you have this turned on, only people who are at an admin owner level or an ISA level have the option to change that source. We at Amplified Solutions always recommend having this turned on. And it's not because, we don't trust agents, but you never know if someone's going to go rogue or do something a little bit funky, especially if you guys are buying and generating leads for your team at a pretty high level. We want to make sure that agents aren't going in there and, kind of skirting the system and saying, oh, this source actually isn't from our website. This is a sphere, or this is a personal friend. This is from my book of business. We definitely don't want that happening. We need to make sure that for all you guys are doing for your team and your agents, that obviously you're getting what you're owed. So, totally recommend having this on. The only time that an agent, if this is enabled, has the opportunity to change a source is if they input somebody manually. Right here, when you select this lead source, if they don't select anything, then they're going to go in automatically as unspecified. So if someone gets entered in and they go in as unspecified for a manual ad, then the agent will have that one chance to go and update the lead source, put them at that their sphere or whatever source they are to them, referral, whatever you guys are using. So that's really the only time they could do that. After that, it's completely locked down. Nobody can change it unless they're admin owner or ISA level. Enforcing of a Google sign-in. So you guys know when you log into the screen, hey, enter your username, enter your password, log in. I'm sure you guys are part of other sort of systems where you use your Google address to sign in. You click sign in with Google, it signs you in and gets you in. It is a really great security feature. So if you want to require it for people, that's great. I will say the only sort of drawback is if you are working with different third-party vendors, such as Amplified Solutions, or the likes of, then it can make things a little bit difficult as far as letting those folks have access to your account. Really the only way that they're going to be able to get in is through username and password, because obviously we don't need people being inside of our emails, our Google email addresses and stuff like that. And we don't want to be there either. So just make sure if you are having third-party vendors or anything along those lines that you actually don't have this enabled. Agent action plans. So allowing agents to create their own action plans. This isn't to say that they can go in and create their own automations, right? Automations are only at an admin owner level who can set those up. Hey, if the stage is changed to nurture, they're tagged as a buyer, let's get them on a nurture buyer plan. Agents can't do that. Only the admin owners, but they can create plans for themselves. So if they want to be manually applying plans to people, or even if you've got an agent that's a rock star in their follow-up boss, they're like, hey, I've got this action plan, I'd love to have it automated. You can set up those automations for them, and be able to achieve that, but they won't be able to do it themselves. So allowing agents to create and manage their own action plans. I mean, hey, if they want to go in there, they want to rock the system, they've got their own plan for how they want to do things, manually adding things, or if you guys have a good enough working relationship that that this is going to help them out, then you can set up those automations, but it truly is up to you at the end of the day. And then right down here, so you can see this is a beta. It's the call from option. So it'll allow different admins on the team to choose who they're calling from. So show you a little bit of an example here. I am in blur mode, and I have to be in blur mode, especially since this is going to be on YouTube. But let's see. Well, they don't have a phone number, so that's not really going to help us there, is it? Let's check out Little Miss Rebecca Renter. Go back, please. And I double backed my clicks were faster than my computer speed. We all know how that goes sometimes. All right, so let's see this one. We know that they've got a phone number. So essentially what happens is you click on it right down here, and you could see it gives you different options. So I'm signed in as Mr. Lee Adkins currently. What that can do is you can also choose to call from one of your different inbox numbers. So you can call from yourself or any one of your different company team inbox numbers. And then that also goes for with the text messages here. Right here, when you're doing the text, you could drop this guy down and go from any one of those different inbox numbers. Gonna dip back into our power-ups. Make sure we didn't miss anything. I do believe that was our last one. Here we go. Yep. So we nailed them all. And additionally, you guys, you can see these little blue learn mores. They're super helpful. So if you're like, oh man, it's great, I retain a lot of information from watching webinars and videos and stuff. But sometimes I just got to read it through myself and really process those words and those letters. A lot of these do have this learn more option. They'll take you to a wonderful follow-up boss help center article. So you can see right here, exclusively power-ups, the call recording transcripts and summaries. So all of this beautiful graphics, super straight to the point, to help you get a little bit more info on any of these power-ups that you may be a little bit extra curious about. As always, it's a pleasure, guys. I hope that you guys are still enjoying getting fubbed up with me. I know I'm still enjoying it with you. Can't wait to see you guys for our next episode. We have transitioned from the, live webinar format to a little bit more of, sending this out. Hopefully you guys are utilizing the comments. We are always checking the YouTube comments and any profile comments, anything like that. So encourage you guys to ask questions and can't wait to see you next time.